Good morning, beautiful people. How are you today? I hope you're all well. Welcome to Kate's Space. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks everybody for coming back, if you have come back for more. If you're new, I'd love you to subscribe and continue watching. And yeah, hopefully you'll find some sort of inspiration here of some description. Anyway, this is my design team project for Sue at Paper Inspirations. She has a wonderful online shop over in Australia, which is, you know, kind of local for me in New Zealand. And it's just such a exciting thing to be on her design team. Now, I did a video a little while back showing what products Sue had sent me to work with. And it was lots of these beautiful, sort of really pretty cottagey cotton fabrics, and some of these gorgeous little, what do you call these? I don't know. Anyway, these. And some beautiful threads. These threads are actually hand dyed by a mum and daughter team in Australia. So yeah, I'm going to try and use these for some slow stitching. The slow stitching is slow and not something that really can be videoed. It's very, it would be quite torturous, I think, to watch that, especially as I'm not super experienced and good at it. But I am going to do some on this cover. And then also she sent me, amongst other things, one of her packs of laces. And so I'm going to use those. So I ummed and ahed about what I was going to do, and then I sat down the other day and made a whole lot of these little yo-yos, which are so cute. I love them. And then I remembered Heather from Rosehall Paper Cottage, and I think maybe other people did this cool little window thing, and I wanted to use some denim, but I didn't have any. And I've taken apart jeans before, but a lot of jeans now are stretched denim, and when you try and tear them, they've got those little elasticy bits. Anyway, I found this cotton fabric and I thought, oh, it's kind of a denim-y but with stripes on it, so I thought that would do. Good to use the things that are in your stash. And then what I've done is, let me take this apart and hopefully I'll remember how I had it. So yeah, here's my fabrics that I was sent. So you can buy all these things in Sue's shop. I will put all the links down below, and also all the links to the other design team members for Sue who are making things with products from Sue's shop. So I've got a piece of file folder. I decided I wanted to make a journal cover that was kind of long, tall and thin. I really enjoyed making my last one, though this is a completely different style to the last one I made. I'll put a video up of that one. I'll also link the video to showing you what I got sent by Sue. I cut a piece of batting, and I was thinking, oh, do I want to wrap it around? And I've decided I'm not going to. I'm just going to have the edges come to the edge of the file folder, or not, what is this, manila folder. So yeah, I cut a piece of manila folder the size I wanted. Then I cut a piece of this batting. Now this is again something I just had. It's a lovely soft cotton sort of padding. I did a quilt in a day workshop years ago, and they give you all the batting that didn't get used on your quilt. They give it back to you. So I've got a whole lot of that, decent amount, and I kind of wanted it to be a bit squidgy. And so then I wrapped this polka dotted fabric for my base, and I've pinned that on, and I'm going to sew around that. And I'm just deciding whether I will sew this as well. I like this messy edge. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not going to try and make things like super straight. I know this is also wonky, and I don't know what I'm going to do on the back. So I'm just deciding whether I will stitch all this on the lace that I've chosen, whether I'll stitch this all on in one go, or whether I will wait and stitch it on the lace on separately. Yeah, so that's where we're at. I think it's cute. and I will use more. I think it's going to be, I'll use it sort of as an example of all the things you can use fabric for sort of in a journal. Not all of the things because there's so many, but some of the things you could use bits of fabric for. And I can show you how to make one of these if anyone's interested. That might just be something I could do. And obviously I'm going to show you how I do this. So thinking, do we want to sew this all at the same time? Or do I actually want to sew this on by hand? I guess it doesn't matter because it's fabric, it's not paper. It doesn't matter how much you sew it. So I'm going to go around the edge first and get that done. So there's going to be lots of getting up and getting down. I haven't got my sewing machine here on my desk, so I will be doing that. And I think I'm just going to do a straight stitch. No, I'm going to do a zigzag. I'm going to zigzag all the way around. Okay, and then I'll be back. Okay, I got one little pucker down here. It's really dark here this morning. The sun tried to come out, but it seems like it's failed, and I think the light is just too dim. If I turn the lights on, I'm going to have a whole lot of glare, and I'm not going to be happy with that. So I'm going to have to stop the video and then maybe redo it this afternoon, maybe when it's a little bit brighter. We have got some sunny but cold weather coming, so I'm going to have to try and do all my videos then, I think. I'm going to Auckland next month, and I'm going to go with my daughter Briley to the photo gear shop, which has all the stands and the lighting and all the filming stuff. So I'm going to go, I was going to buy it online, but I think I'm going to do it. I'd like to see the setup first before I purchase it. So I'm going to buy a light, which should turn the room when it's this dark into more of a brighter daylight. I've got my ring light, but that still produces like a very sort of, it produces a lot of glare on the desk, whereas this light is just going to be a general one. Anyway, that's the plan. So anyway, that's all stitched around. I think we've caught all the batting on the back, but that isn't too much of a problem because there's going to be lots of stitching going on. And now I want to arrange how I wanted my yo-yos, which I can't remember. I don't know if you can see, but I've started doing little French knots into this little yo-yo, and then it was getting really fiddly, so I realized I actually want to do that when it's on the cover, sorry, because I think that will be better. And I can't remember how I had this, so I'm going to have to go back to my picture. I've got a picture of how I had it, but I know I want this lace down here. It doesn't quite reach right across at the back, so I don't know whether I might take it right across, even though it doesn't quite make it to the back. And then these are going to go on here. I can't remember, I might have had 4 down here from memory, but I'm not sure. So I'll have to go back and have a look. And then I had this little bit of lace at the top. I think that's going to be enough lace. And then it's what stitching am I going to do on the actual cover? Is it going to be hand stitch? And I think I will do some hand stitching on these yo-yos to stitch them down, to attach them, and I'll go through the whole cover to do that. And I'll show a little bit of that on the video, but I am going to go now and wait for the lighting to get better, which is pretty disappointing because I did want to get on with this, but that's okay. And I will see you, yeah, hopefully when the sun comes out. All right, see ya. Hi everybody, I came back. The sun's in and out. I'm going to try my best to do this, and hopefully the light will be adequate. So where were we at when I left? Oh, I needed to check how I wanted my yo-yos to go. So this piece of fabric, I just basically ripped these triangles out of it. I used some scissors and then just sort of tore and cut. There's a little tear there. And then I sewed around on the sewing machine, and then I just cut these pieces down to size. Pretty basic, nothing too earth-shattering there. Now, I think I'm going to pin this onto the front. I'm going to bring that curved edge up to the front there. I'm going to leave that like that. I'm not going to iron it. I like it like that. But yeah, you could iron it and have it flat. So I'll sew under that so it curls back on itself like that. I quite like it. So we'll stick all our pins in. So yeah, it's just like clears up and then it rains and the sun's still kind of out, but it's raining. I don't know, it's funny weather. Right, so pinning all around the edges just to hold it in place where I sort of want it to be, because then I need to decide if I'm going to hand sew around there or machine sew, and whether I'm going to do anything on the back, because this will kind of be weird. This will kind of stick out a little bit over that spine. I don't think I mind that either, and it's not completely straight. I also don't really mind that. So there we go, that's sewn on. It's all a little bit off center though, isn't it? When we fold it, we've got a gap here that we don't have there. Now, does that bother me? I'm not sure. When I've got all these on, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I can't remember which ones of these I used, so I'm going to have to go back to my photo and have a look. So yeah, I'll do that now. Okay, so I had these two on the bottom. I had 4 here. And then I had 2 at the top. And actually once those are on, I think it's okay with the slightly pushed over this way. Actually I'm going to unpin it now and see if I like it better. I'll edit this out. Now the only way to change that is to actually tear some of this bit off. I don't really want to do that. I've pushed it over a little bit more. I'm just worried about tearing that off. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to, which is a shame because I really like that folded over edge. Decisions. So I can either have that so it overlaps so we'll see it. Which actually is okay. I don't mind that too much. And that just centers it up a little bit more. I mean, not that anything's straight on here. I mean, these aren't even. Okay, I'm going to go with it overlapping. So now I'm going to repin it and then I'll be back. Okay, so there we go. It's not, yeah, I'm okay with that. I like it. So this lace is going to go on the bottom, and I still have to decide about whether I'm going to wrap it around there. And then we've got our Suffolk puffs going on here, or our yo-yos. I've already started embroidering inside that one, so that one's going there. So that's those 4. I don't normally do even numbers, but 5 seemed too many and 3 sort of didn't feel like enough. So I'm going to pin those on as well. Lots of pinning. And the other thing I need to do is look up how to do the bullion stitch, because I'd like to do some bullion stitches inside these holes as well. So I'm going to try and maybe I'll put a button in one, yeah, fill each the center of each one. And for now I'm just going to pin this lace like this till I've decided what I'm going to do on the back. And then at the top we have this one and a little daisy one. I'll pin those on. So now there's lots of stitching to do and it takes quite a long time. But I thought the first thing I would show you how I did is I will show you how I made my Suffolk puffs or my yo-yos. So I'll just grab the things I need for that and we'll make one of those together. So all I did was chose the size of the circle that I wanted. If you've got die cuts, circle die cuts, that would work. And then I just chose this lid. Initially I used something bigger, but it was too big. I didn't want them as big as that. And then I thought about making them 2 different sizes. I'd quite like a smaller one, but I didn't really have anything small enough. Or the right size, I mean. It's hard to get an idea of how big it's going to be, I guess, until you start stitching it. Well, for me anyway. So yeah, just cut out a circle or, whoops, sorry, I banged you. Cut out a circle or use your die cut machine if you've got die cuts, because often they'll work on, or cut a template with your die cut and draw around it. Anything round. Then I made the mistake of using some vintage thread, and when I pulled it tight it broke. So use something strong. This is just a polyester, I think, polyester Gutermann sewing thread. I'm going to use it double because it's just so frustrating once you've sewn all the way around, then you pull it and it breaks, because that's the end of that. You have to start again and it's really annoying. Put a knot in the bottom, however you do that. You don't need much because you're going to pull it up tight. Now you can just go around and leave a raw edge in here, but I actually just turn my edge down slightly, and then basically you just do a running thread all the way around the outside of the circle. Be much quicker if you weren't hemming it like this, so you certainly don't need to. And actually they might look quite cute. I didn't try, they might look quite cute with the raw edge. Anyway, this is what I'll do. I'll speed this up a little bit. Right, so it's not quick. Take your thread, so right round until to where you started, and then just ease that up. I'll try and push as much around to where I started as possible first, so that I'm not putting loads of pressure on this thread when I'm pulling it. Then I just kind of flatten it out, pull out all our edges, and we want it to be as closed up here as possible, or I do. And then I kind of take my thread and push it through, and then I'd sort of finish it off by looping it, tying it off, making a couple of knots. Kind of want them to be hidden if you can, but there we go. That should be good. And then trim off the thread there. And there we have our little yo-yo. It's very pretty on that side. Little peaks of roses on the other side. So that's how those are made. Right, and now what am I going to do on the front of this journal now? I want to carry on doing this one here. So I've already got a piece of thread. Now this thread is from Sue's shop and it's hand dyed, and so you can see it's got that kind of uneven colour tone to it. It was pale blue and I quite like that. It's going to give us little different coloured French knots in the centre here. And so what I'm going to do, once I've threaded this, okay, I'm going to tie a knot in the end of my thread, and now instead of just doing the yo-yo, I'm going to come all the way through the batting as well. So I come up from the bottom to the top, and then it's all a bit fiddly, and then wind the thread around my needle. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go 4, and then push it down back through right next to where, or on top of where you came up. Hold on to this side bit just to give it a bit of tension when you're pulling the needle through, and then whoops, it's caught on the lace, which is not ideal. And then pull it through, and there's your knot. There it is there. And so that is securing my yo-yo to my journal and everything in between as well. So it's serving lots of purposes. So that's what I'm going to do in that one. Ooh. And going through all those surfaces is going to make it a little bit harder on my hands as well. So that's the plan for that one, for that little one. Okay, so let's try a bullion stitch. I'm not sure whether I want to, I'm going to try it with the pink thread, if I can find it. I'm just going to try and separate that out, and hopefully it won't go into a big tangle. Go, and let's see if I can work out how to do this. Threading the needle is always the first challenge. Right, got that, and knotting it at the end. Okay, so I'm going to try the bullion stitch in here. I don't know how I'm going to go. I'm going to start at the middle. Okay, so I know you go up, and then you want to go straight across, so back down. So that's how long our stitch is going to be. And then you come back up where you went up last time. Oh, you're supposed to leave this as a loop. That's right, so you need to leave, don't pull this tight, you need to leave that as a loop. Then you come back up just below where you came in, and you don't pull your needle all the way through. You take this part of your thread and you wind it round as many times as you think you want. So I'm gonna, I don't know how many I did, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm gonna do 9. Now you don't want to pull that too tight, but you then pull your needle up through those loops. I think that's what you do. And then you come back down there. Okay, well that doesn't look very good. That's not good. It's not a very good one. But you can see you get these kind of little caterpillars. I did it on my, during that first lockdown that we had, I did the slow stitching thing with Anne Brooks, and you can see here I've done the Suffolk puffs, and I've done these bullion stitches and the French knot. So that's what I'm sort of trying to emulate a little bit. That one's got a pearl and a whole lot of French knots in there. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. So, but there's lots of tutorials on YouTube. I'm going to undo this one because I'm not happy with it. I'm going to try and undo it anyway. I don't know if you can undo them. So I think I can do a better job than that though, so I just need a bit of practice. And I think that's the thing with the stitching. I haven't done any slow stitching. I keep meaning to do Rachel and Sarah, the Roxburgh sisters, Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. I keep meaning to do it. I've been watching and lurking at their projects, and I still haven't quite got round to it. So yeah, so I'm gonna do the French knots, the bullion stitch, and then a button will go on into one of these, or a pearl or something, and then maybe some beads in here. So that's the plan. And then up there, and then that will be attached to my cardboard here. So that's the start of my project, and I'll come back and show you when I've done all these, and then we will move on. Hi, it's a couple of days later. We've just had the worst weather. Today the sun is just trying so hard to come out, but it hasn't managed it. But actually the light's not too bad in here. I do have my lights on. I don't like filming with the lights, the down lights on, because it does change the whole sort of way things look. Anyway, I have been working on this, and I just wanted to show you, and then we'll sign off and we'll do another video doing some more. But I'm just going to show you that I've done the French knots, I've done beads in here, I've done the little bullion stitches in there, and one of my precious glass buttons I've popped in that one. These ones here at the top, I've done the French knots, and that's a glass button as well, a vintage glass button. On the back, remember this lace didn't quite go over, so I've done this little patchwork, and I've left this selvage on because I like the words on it. I mean, it doesn't mean anything, but just I like the type. And I'm just doing some stitching here. You can just see it's just straight stitching all the way through the batting. So that's where we're at with our cover, and I just wanted to show you that before I upload this video, because I'd like to get it up before the weekend finishes, which is today. And yeah, and then I'll be back to do some more with you on it, and some other things that we can do with the fabrics and the threads and things like that. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I will see you again real soon in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye.